What's up, Scyushi Squad? We are back again for the more Trove a normal Let's Play episode. Hee hee. Did you expect the series to just come back like this? I know I didn't. So, I do want to give you guys a heads up that probably around the time that this video is being published on the channel today, I am more than likely going to be live streaming because we actually have the lunar event going on. You can see the event in the top right hand corner of the screen, which speak with the High Priest Lunavic. Hilarious. We're not going to be doing that in today's episode. Today's episode, we're just going to be doing some normal grinding. Or actually, wait, sorry. We're going to be doing grinding, but we're actually trying to get to 45k PR. So you'll notice that we're actually hilarious. We're actually 5 PR away from getting to 45k. We might actually be able to even do it this way if I can get enough mastery out of this. Is this an ally? It looks like a mount. Oh my god, it only gave me 1 more PR. Ah, that's funny. Okay, what is this new mount? Ooh. Yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess. Okay, so in order to do this, what we need to do is we gotta level up one of these gems. So it mostly depends on which of the extra prisms that I have right now, which it seems like we got 6 of the water, so that's probably the most orthodox one that we're going to end up doing. Because what we need to do is we need to make at least 1 prism on top of having the amount of all of these Ara gems that we need. So this is going to actually take me a while to do off camera. But I really wanted to try and do this in a video for you guys today. And I'm sorry that this video is coming out so late today, but that's because I was like, I went tubing yesterday, which is like going out on a boat and stuff like that. And then I ended up getting, as you can see, extremely sunburned. And it kept me up all night, so I slept in. And anyways, let me get to work on this. But before we get started with that, you guys want to hear about the Game Ago sponsorship today, right? Yeah, I know you do. It is I, the axolotl from Minecraft. No, I'm supposed to be the Solarian. There's actually a Trove cosplay contest going on right now where there will be a link in the description to the website so you can find out more details. But essentially what you're going to do is there's going to be a PDF on the same website that's linked down below that is going to end up giving you this mask. So essentially what you're going to do is download it, paste it, you know, copy it down to your printer or whatever, or print it out, and then you're going to end up paper crafting it essentially and building it up. I just got staples and stuff. You're supposed to just be able to glue it together and just use scissors. It's super duper easy. But once you end up having your creation created, you're going to end up recording yourself with the mask on, doing something out in public. I don't know if it matters what, it's just supposed to be an entertaining video, right? And then you're going to end up uploading that to TikTok with the hashtag Trove Gaming, hashtag gaming, hashtag cosplay. Did I say hashtag Trove Gaming? I meant hashtag Trove Cosplay. By doing so, you're going to be participating in this cosplay contest, and just by participating, you're going to get a sun-charged crystal cash. But the #1 winner, who's going to be chosen by having the most likes on their video, is going to end up winning 1,000 euros. My god! But guess what second place ends up getting? Just take a wild guess. They also end up winning 1,000 euros, and that second place winner is going to be chosen by a jury of Game Ago employees and myself. It says influencers, so there might be others, but I don't know. I'm trying to get more details from Game Ago, but they're really slow to respond because they're busy with all of this stuff. Anyways, you're going to have to end up having your entry on TikTok before August 28th, which means that you got to start getting to it. Get on it, gamers. I got to get on it too. I still haven't put mine up. And then the winners are going to end up being announced September 16th. Big shout out to Game Ago for the sponsorship of these videos, and shout out to you guys for watching the videos and hopefully participating in the contest, because I want to end up doing a reaction to your TikToks regardless of whether you end up winning the contest or not. I think it'll be funny. Let's get back to getting 45k. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm in U11 Fire World. I know that I've swapped off a candy bar back to my main, the old Shadowhunter, and that's just because we're so extremely close to that PR requirement, right? And it's funny because if you didn't end up catching the live stream that I did the other day, that's where we ended up getting to this unorthodox amount of PR where we're missing just a little bit more. And so essentially what I'm going to have to do, which is going to be quite annoying, is I am going to have to grind through quite a few fire dungeons here. If the game would stop rubber banding me and knocking me all over the place, because knockback is still a thing in this game, even though it was supposed to end up having an evaluation, but whatever. we're going to end up just doing some some dungeons and stuff like that, grinding up my fire gem boxes so that I can hopefully end up getting some crystal gems. And then I'm going to show you guys a trick so that you can end up getting almost a guaranteed return of your gem dust back for leveling up crystal gems. It's a trick that I've been doing in my live streams for a while now, but I wanted to actually address it and talk about it in an individual video, on top of the fact that I know I still have to make an updated gem guide tutorial. But right now it's just going to be a long, arduous, tedious process of grinding dungeons so that I can end up having these gem boxes hit pity, which is going to end up being around 34, which is... Well, anyways, yeah, I gotta do quite a few dungeons. I guess while I'm doing these dungeons and have your guys' attention, there is a couple other things that I did want to end up talking about, namely being overwhelmed, because that can end up being a thing. And I don't really talk about like the downtime side of things with the channel and YouTube and stuff like that. I mean, usually I end up getting into more personal feelings during the live streams, but it's been a while since I ended up having kind of one of these generic episodes where, you know, we're just chilling, having fun, and then we also talk about some real world stuff going on. So for those of you that don't know, I am not only getting married in October, yay me, but also I'm going to be purchasing and moving into a condo around the end of October. Essentially that condo was supposed to be finished in August, but it ended up getting delayed, and now it's supposed to be in late October, which is very, very exciting stuff, very, very cool, but also extremely expensive and a lot of organizing. There is so much stuff to do that Mariko and I are just constantly, you know, we're kind of always doing it, right? Like we're always busy with something, whether it be going out and just dealing with bills and junk, or whether or not we're getting things all ready for this big culminated effort, right? And I think I owe a due diligence to you guys, because I gotta say, you know, thank you for your continued support over the years. I wouldn't dream that I would have been able to not only just make like a living from doing YouTube, but to be able to afford all of this other stuff. I mean, generally I'm probably going to end up going into the red for all of this, but you know, it's like whatever. At the very least, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to pull through and do it all. So I wanted to address that because I have talked about it during live streams, but I know that not everybody can catch the live streams. I know that they're lengthier videos, and it just can be a little bit difficult for people to end up siphoning through and taking away like the bits and pieces of information that are like relevant to what's going on. Now, on top of all of that, I mentioned talking about, you know, overexerting myself, which is basically just me dealing with all of that personal stuff on top of trying to continuously manage videos regularly for you guys. And actually this really cool sponsorship from Game Ago, you know, I already ended up having the insert earlier in the video, but it's been really cool that they ended up reaching out to me for this sponsorship. But I'm kind of at the point, like, I'm gonna be honest, it feels like I'm working much harder than I normally do, not even allowing myself to take breaks like I normally would when I feel fatigue, because I know that this is a timely manner and it doesn't happen often, so I'm kind of trying to take advantage of it, on top of the fact that, you know, I'm gonna end up having like a whole bunch of bills really soon, so how can you blame me? But I'm realizing that I've been pushing a little too hard in one direction, and it kind of feels like things are going back to the way that they used to be. So for those of you that don't know, I made a very, very conscious effort to kind of change like how I was doing things on the channel, which was going to end up being something a lot more organic to myself, my own schedule, and the videos that I enjoy doing, regardless of whether or not everybody ends up watching them. You know, like I'm going to end up doing multiverses videos just because I'm enjoying the game, whether or not people are actually into those videos, which, hey, so far you guys seem to be enjoying them, so that's a plus. But my point is that with doing things that way, it felt like things were a lot more organic and a lot more up to my own personal speed, right? You know, like I was really, really enjoying doing YouTube stuff. And not to say that I'm not enjoying it now, but it definitely feels like I'm getting back to the grind, you know, like where I'm just pumping out videos and I don't really give myself any time to think about the type of video that I want to end up doing. That's where these Let's Play videos are kind of coming into play as a bit of a saving grace for me, where, yes, it's backwards, but generally speaking, I do like having these types of videos because it's basically like a shorter version of a stream, right? Where I can kind of collect my thoughts, talk about the things that I want to talk about and share with you guys, rather than having to game for like an hour, even though generally speaking, these videos do take a significant amount of time to produce. Now, to be clear, what I mean by that, when I say about a video taking time to produce, I mean quite literally recording the video, throwing it into my editing software, making the cuts, rendering it out, and uploading. And all of that, at the end of the day, ends up taking a much more significant amount of time than you would think. I'm not saying it takes as long as a live stream per se, but it does still take a while, and it also depends on how long YouTube takes to process the video, which seems completely random. But the one big disadvantage of not live streaming is I don't get to chill with you guys. I don't get to bounce my ideas off of you. I don't get to end up having a little bit more of a chill energy, right? Like now it's more so I'm in commentary mode and I'm trying to end up explaining a checklist of things that I've set out to talk about today, right? Which is, again, not that I'm necessarily complaining about any of this. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a peek into my world and what ends up going on behind the scenes. Okay, so it seems like we actually have enough boxes, so let's hope that we end up getting some random crystal gems out of all of that, because I want to show you guys this trick. I may have to grind more gem boxes in general, you know, especially because I think I'm going to be lacking in some of the air gems and so on and so forth. But here's what you can end up doing, right? So when you end up having a gem or a crystal gem in particular, what happens is you can loot collect it into a gem spark. Now, obviously I need to make another video again focusing on how crystal gems work and how gems work as a whole, so I can explain this a little bit better. But assuming you guys know what a gem spark is, it basically is a item that you can craft for 30,000 gem dust. So every single spark that you have is roughly 30,000 gem dust. So what do we end up doing to take advantage of that? Well, if we end up looking at the gem right here, so this, crystal fire gem, I only have 33k gem dust, which unfortunately is not enough. So I did notice that I did end up unboxing a fire gem spark, which means that I can convert both of these into just normal gem dust. Okay, so that's 2 sparks gone. Keep that in mind, so that I can end up getting enough gem dust. However, if I end up using this, there's a handy mod that I have I've already talked about in my mod list video, where we can just choose what level we want to get a gem to. The only difference is that if you're on console, you wouldn't have this handy mod, so you would just have to level the gem up yourself. Now, here's the thing. We were at 93,000 gem dust, right? So I'm going to auto level this to level 25. And it's going to end up taking a significant amount of gem dust. It's going to take a decent amount of flux, but not really. Most of all, it's just going to end up taking the gem dust. And we should be able to get it pretty lucky. We actually got pretty darn lucky there. So we were at 93,000 minus 62,000. That took around 31,000 gem dust, which is insanely lucky, by the way, because I've had it take up to 60,000. Sometimes, very rarely, it takes 80,000 gem dust because, of course, we're not using any gem boosters. However, now that this gem is level 25, remember, we had to convert 2 gem sparks in order to level this up. And now we can end up loot collecting this for 4 total gem sparks, which means that we ended up making 2 gem sparks profit. Actually, a little more than that because of how easily this one ended up leveling. We were really, really lucky with that. And that's it. That's the trick. All you got to do is just make sure that you end up having enough gem dust, which normally 40,000 is not really enough to level up the gem. Usually I like to have, again, like around 60k gem dust, and then usually that'll get you enough, but you do have to be a little bit careful about it. However, you can see, okay, I can already end up making this. I could end up leveling up some of these, but I know for a fact that I'm going to end up getting more gem dust back if I end up leveling this gem up. So we're going to level it to 25, 74k gem dust. Let's see, hopefully we end up getting really lucky again. This one seems to be doing okay, but you can see that it's definitely taking a lot more gem dust than the last one did. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. We got really, really lucky again. So now we can just break that up, and we ended up making a little bit of a profit on our gem dust in total. So now I'm going to craft one of these. And let's see. Hopefully we have enough gem sparks to level any of these up. Probably not. Okay, so I need 8 of the air gem, or I could go for more of the water gem. Yeah, and then no of the air. Okay, so what about, can I craft any of these? I can craft 1, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to probably break some of this up, which means that I'm going to have to grind some air gem world for a little bit at the least before we can do this. The other thing too I want to mention, like, I really hope that the devs at one point change it, where in the Sundered Uplands, with the 5-star dungeons in particular, they have indestructible blocks for all of the floors, so that you can't end up having somebody come in and grief those dungeons and have the boss fall out of the bottom of the map. However, Skyland doesn't have that, and it's a real big problem now that we've actually started to go back into general Uber worlds. I'm finding it to be a very, very big problem in these worlds where I'm just bombing my way into the dungeons casually, and then I just so happen to end up destroying a little too much of the floor, and the boss might end up falling out of the map. So if there's one thing that I would hope the devs end up fixing, it would be that. Now that said, I know that that would be very tedious because it means that they would have to go into every single dungeon in the Skyland anyways, rotation, and then they would have to change it so that none of them, you know, so that all of them have a solid floor. But I think that players would very much appreciate it if they ended up doing it. Look at this, guys. I'm doing the lazy farm. I'm not even gonna go for the gear. I'm just going to shoot the boss. Well, in this case, it's a cursed skull. I'm just shooting bosses through the floor, and then I just shoot the chest, and so long as I'm close enough to end up gathering the air gem box, it's like, yeah, I don't care. No harm, no foul. I'm out. Let's see if this boss has teleport on it. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. Another really nice trick that you can sometimes do is if the boss has the ability to portal you to it, you can use that very, very effectively to just shoot the boss through the floor and just teleport to its like boss location, which is really, really handy for speed farming. Now, the other thing too that I've mentioned again in streams, but I wanted to mention in a video, which I'll probably end up having a dedicated video specifically talking about this because I feel it's an oversight from the devs that needs to be fixed. So for the longest time, I didn't actually know that Volatile Velocity's description, that's the not the class gem, the empowered gem ability of Volatile Velocity, the description is actually wrong. It's inaccurate. So if we look at Volatile Velocity, it says increases the shot speed of any projectile. That's it. And I didn't know for the longest time until somebody ended up recently explaining it to me that what Volatile Velocity actually does is increases the range of your shot. So we're actually shooting 40% further than we would. Uh-oh, I was too far from that dungeon chest. We're shooting 40% further than we would without it, which it should really explain that, because that really makes Shadowhunter go big mode, like as opposed to the other classes, which, you know, other classes can still take advantage of it for sure, but this really, really helps the Shadowhunter in terms of fighting the new 5-star dungeons and stuff, because now suddenly you can end up shooting the objectives from much, much further away than you would normally end up anticipating. On top of the fact there's a teleporting boss. Beautiful. On top of the fact that, you know, Shadowhunter also has the big advantage of now, since it's rework, the projectiles will end up actually shooting through walls. Do we have enough to get this? There we go. So that's our crystal gem that we needed. Let's go. Actually, you know what? I didn't even realize that we had 2 of these bad boys, so that's not bad. Okay, we should be doing fine. No, not 26, 25. Thank you very much. So again, 56k gem dust. Let's see if we end up getting lucky with how quickly this sucker ends up leveling up. It seems like this one's a little worse. Yeah, a lot worse. So as you can see, this is how quickly you can end up draining your gem dust. We might not even have enough to get it to 25. Got very, very lucky right at the end there. But unfortunately, it means that we're gonna have to kind of break down a couple of these just so that we can end up getting the gem dust back in order to level up this one. So, I mean, at the very least, we are going to end up seeing a profit. Again, it's always beneficial to do this, because even in the very, very unlikely chance that you end up spending a very high amount of gem dust to level up the gem, you're still going to end up making a profit, even if it's a lot more minuscule. So this is another bad one, unfortunately. It seemed like that took like 30 or 40k gem dust, but again, we get 4 back, so profit. Okay, let's see. So we should be able to level up. I should probably level up my class gem, I guess, right? Why not? Let's see. Okay, here we go. 45k, gamers. Sweet! We did it. We actually did it. We actually hit 45K. Let's go. Let's dance on the pizza slice. Nice. So for those of you that don't know, 46K is the new maximum. It is very difficult to reach because obviously we have to end up having, you know, our gems get, all of them have to be basically maxed out. And it's taking me this long to max out one physical set of gems. I want to be clear about that because later on down the line, we are going to have to do the same thing with a magic set of gems. Which is gonna kind of suck. But anyways, that's really cool. I'm really excited about that. Thank you for watching and indulging me and letting you guys know about all these little life updates and so on and so forth. Very exciting moment. I gotta get this video out to you guys right away, and then we gotta start live streaming the event. So hopefully you ended up enjoying, and if you did, smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel. And I know I've got a little too much crit hit. I can swap that off of some of my gems now, which is cool, and give me a little bit more max health. Bye guys.